Hello everyone, this video is the start of a series in which I'll be showing you how to convert your standard Scratch game into one that is highly efficient and easy to maintain. Try following along with one of your Scratch games. So one more thing, don't forget about the redeem codes that will be popping up randomly throughout this video. So let's get scratching. Okay, so for this series I'll just be using a random Scratch game. So I'll download this and open in TurboWarp. You don't have to use TurboWarp, but it will speed up your coding time by a lot, so definitely watch my other video about it. Okay, so now that we have our project open in TurboWarp, we can start by organizing the code. When organizing your code, it is easiest to organize them into multiple columns. So in the first column, you are going to want all of your update loops and setup code, along with any other receive blocks. The second column is where you put most of your high-level custom blocks, like your update custom block. The next column should contain all of the custom blocks that are used by higher-level blocks, and so on. When organizing code inside of the columns, you normally want to organize them into the order that they will start. So for the first column, you want to put the setup code first, then the update code, and then any other code that will be called after. So yeah, keeping all that in mind, we can now start organizing. Organizing all this code will make sure that there is a consistent coding organization throughout your sprites and projects, making it much more easier to find something later on. Okay, so now that we get everything cleaned up, we can start working on the performance of this project. So a common mistake most Scratchers make is when they're storing values in variables, they usually use text. You should always avoid storing text in variables because it is not as efficient as a number when checking if it is equal to something else. So we're going to place everything with yes with 1 and no with 0. So this is going to be replaced with 0. Then I think that's all good for this sprite. Okay, so this needs to be replaced with costume number instead of name because it is more efficient internally. So this needs to be replaced with 0 for none. And the fave is 3, so we're going to replace that with 3. And this is going to be replaced with 2. So now we can rename these variables because obviously this variable wasn't even named to begin with. When naming variables, lists, and broadcasts, it is best to use consistent naming conventions. So when creating for all sprites variables, you will want to put the namespace first, then space, dash space, then the name of your variable. When naming for the sprite only variables, you want to put underscore first, space, then the name of your variable. Also, when naming low-level for the sprite only variables, you should put z first, then space, underscore space, then the name of your variable. This way, you will be able to easily identify for all sprites for the sprite only and low-level variables. When naming broadcasts, you do pretty much the same thing. Global broadcast should be your namespace first, then a space, dash space, then the name. When naming sprite local broadcasts, you want to put the sprite name first, then space, dash space, z, space, underscore, space, then the name of your broadcast. I have made an easy-to-use cheat sheet that has all the things that I'm discussing in this video. It is for the probably more like 80% of the people who are struggling to remember everything I have said in this video. So definitely feel free to click on that link in the description and download it right now. I do not know why these are inputs to this custom block. This custom block should just be an update without any inputs. Let's just create a new variable. What in the world is that variable for? Nothing. Okay, delete that. Then we can create a new variable called acceleration. So remember, this is going to be for this sprite only, so we got to do underscore. So then go down, this is going to be for this sprite only. Then this is going to be 0.8, just what it was, so 0.8. Then we can replace all the variables right here with acceleration. Oh, and also, you can search for this block by just shift-clicking on it, and it'll bring up it in the file menu, or you can just middle-click on it and do the same thing. Then you can see where it's used. Saying 0 minus this instead of times -1 is faster, and it's identically the same as you should know if you know math. So we need to replace all times -1s with just 0 minus the value. And here, this is faster to do 90 minus y velocity times 3. There. Okay, and so now for the top and bottom, so as you see, if I go up here at the top, it will bounce off the top, and the way he had it programmed is there is an invisible bar up here that he says is touching, and his touching block is crazy inefficient, as I well know, because I've just been programming a physics engine that uses it, and I would probably use math if I rewrote it. Okay, so, yeah, let's replace this with math. So, instead of touching bottom, we're going to replace this with if y position is less than negative 150, because this is on the bottom. Okay, there, yeah, that looks great. So now we can just replace this one with is greater than 150, and then there. Then it should stop at the top and bottom, and it is way more efficient that way. Okay, so now we can clean up all that stuff, and these scripts are identical, so we can just replace that, and we can just say broadcast menu show. There. Much more efficient that way. Less code. And then if you change this, it will change everywhere. Okay, so then same with here, the menu show, and this all needs to just kind of be in the same thing. So then we need to say, actually, yeah, that's good. Okay, much less code this way. That looks good. The menu background, same thing. Just kind of replace all that with that. Much more efficient. Okay, another thing for efficiency. Why in the world did this guy say repeat 50 times, delete this clone? Because as soon as the clone is deleted, it's going to be deleted. It can no longer be repeated. Okay, so this can just be set to 1 because it does not need to be repeated 50 times. I'm guessing they're thinking that it has to be repeated for each clone, but it doesn't, because this thing is going to be called for each clone. So this is just going to be deleted, then it's going to be good. And then for the main sprite, it's just going to go here and then stop other scripts in sprite. So yeah, let's go through all the things, and yeah, don't ask me why he did that. And when you're wanting to get sprites to go off the stage, like for the love and fader texture, switching to an empty costume, setting the size to a high number, going to that location, setting size back to 100, and then switching back to the costume. Yes, it does work, but it is kind of inefficient. There is a simpler way to make it so it can just go off just slightly off the stage without being appearing. We can just remove all of this. And all you need to do in the costume editor, you can just go here, and all you have to do is just drag a box around here, and then in here you can set it to clear. So it's basically just a clear box. What this box is doing internally is it's making the bounding box bigger, so Scratch thinks that you can still see it, but when it moves off the stage, it's just clear, so you can't really see it. And yeah, so we can just copy and paste that over to here, and move here, and it will still go off the stage, but it will be much more efficient in runtime that way. Okay, now, lastly, we are going to, as you can see, these two scripts are identical. So these both can be put into a custom block. So we can create a new block called update without screen refresh. Yeah, then we can just drag that there, and then we can just put that there, and drag it there, and there. Much more easier. So then you change there, you don't have to worry about changing two things, plus smaller file size, which makes it faster to download. Then the people can play your game sooner. Okay, and we can delete these because I don't need those anymore. I think that's it for today, so make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay.